Hello. So this is my little birdie. It's a little black bird. Cute. This is my September roundup, and this was the scariest month where, you know, I put new life stuff in place. I'm so grateful I've done these videos. If this is the first one you have watched, this is like my series where I like sum up the month because at the beginning of this year I suffered the worst grief ever. I lost someone who literally every single time it was January, right? Every single time it makes me cry instantly. Um, and I never thought I would lose. They were just indestructible to me. So I lost them, and instead of in myself, I got out of that credit card and I booked my bucket list. So initially, this was just sort of showcasing that, but now I think it's turned into literally just like a evolution of me and how I've created the life I now live, which is crazy. We still have some bucket list stuff on this month's roundup though, which is really cool. But yeah, to think all the scary stuff that happened in September and how brave I had to be. So now in October, I can just have a nice easy life, and the newness has like kicked in, and I'm seeing like the change from me when I first started the series to now, like where I am in life and stuff. Like, couldn't even imagine it. But yeah, let me just get stuck into it. So on the to be fair, my calendar on the first, apparently I met up with my friend Kirsty. I don't remember this. I remember she came over, but I didn't know that was September. But maybe it was the time she came over and we had guac and salsa and like crisps, and we had the best day ever. I'm gonna say it was that. Yeah, caught up with one of my really good friends. We met because we worked together, and now we don't. Hmm. But yeah, no, we're still really good friends, and yeah, so happy for her. She's again had such a transformative year as well. I mean, it's the year of the snake, so I think we've all had transformative years. It's also year 9 of the 9-year cycle, so major transformation for everyone. Anyways, on the 2nd of September, I got my nails did. This is something which I think I started off really early in the year. That I was just one of the, I don't like the look of my belt when it's like that. That I decided I wanted to get done. I wanted to sort of look after my nails for some reason. And I did, and I paid to get biab, and I haven't stopped. And it's definitely one of those things which I upkeep. And yeah, it's just not necessarily, it's like a personality trait, but it's like a part of myself which I'm proud of, which sounds silly, but every little helps. So yeah, I normally get like light colors, mainly just the biab by itself, so like a pinky nude. But yeah, I started to go with my on the 2nd of September, my Halloweeny vibes, and I got purple for Coraline. It wasn't even Coraline. I don't know. I call them a Coraline nails. What was purple? What do Coraline? I don't know. But yeah, I got my spooky nail started, so I got some long purple nails, which was cool. Obviously, I don't have long purple nails now. So we've had another Halloween set in between. Very cool. Then on the 3rd of September, I had a therapy session. So I have started therapy. I go every single Wednesday, pretty much, unless I have something or she has something going on. This therapy session was pretty good. So I've been going to therapy for probably about 2 months now, weekly. I think 2 weeks have been missed, but yeah, so about 2 months, or maybe 3 months. I don't know. But this therapy session on the 3rd was when I felt comfortable enough to admit, or I don't know, to drop some more law basically, that my best friend killed herself, and she asked me for help, and I didn't do enough, which I think has impacted my life dramatically since then. So that was almost 6 years ago now. And yeah, I think that impacts pretty much my daily life still. And it's, very important for my therapist to know that. But we sort of went into my idea of grief, the thoughts and stuff towards different responsibilities, and it's really interesting. We sort of got talking about obviously I went into therapy because, well, obviously, but I said in the beginning of this video I was pretty good with just not existing anymore. So I'm just gonna check that's stuck properly. So yeah, my whole thing in therapy in terms of mortality is that, like, I'm ready to go whenever. Like, yeah, I don't want to feel pain. I don't want anyone to be upset, but like I welcome it. I, whenever I get sick, I'm like, oh my god, I don't want to die yet. But my day to day, I'm like, look, if there's a freak accident, I'm good. Like, I'm ready for the other side. And my therapist thought that was really interesting because a very common thing with grief is that you try and prevent your own mortality all the time, but whether it's because it was suicide and something I was quite closely involved with, maybe I have a complete opposite where I welcome it. If anything, I don't want to be immortal at all. I want my own mortality because I don't know, maybe it's an idea of sort of like retribution. Like, I will, I feel guilty for my friend passing, so I'm ready for whenever, Grim wants to come collect me, because maybe I think that's what I deserve. But anyways, I think, yeah, that was a big sort of turning point with me and my therapist, because, I was finally able to drop some law there. But I would really recommend therapy. To be fair, it's my first private therapist. I've had many NHS ones. She does it a little bit cheaper. A lot of them are over £100 an hour. She's £50 an hour. So sometimes I do every other week because that's a little bit expensive. But yeah, I would really recommend it. She is so clever and so cool. Anyway, on the 6th of September, my boyfriend drove me and him to Wales, and that was really fun. I pretty much slept the whole way. When we've been to Wales before, I drove, so it's nice to be a little passenger princess this time. And he thoroughly enjoyed me being asleep and being able to jam out to his music and stuff, and learn about the journey and everything. So that was really nice. Yeah, I was still weaning off my medication quite dramatically at that time. So sleep and emotions was all very up and down, but it's lovely to be away with him. And then that was actually our first holiday together, which was to Wales. That was like almost 3 years ago, so it's nice. It was our first time going back. We went back to the same hotel, but they've done it up since then. Yeah, so that was cool because obviously we're in a completely different place, and we went back to a restaurant that sorry, that's my washing machine finishing again there. A restaurant that we went to when we first went there. And he's been dreaming about these spring rolls literally ever since we left that restaurant. So yeah, he obviously got the spring rolls again, and that was just really sweet. And on the 8th, so after a couple of days of being in Wales, we got the mountain railway up to the summit of Mount Snowdon, which was really cool. We was meant to get a steam train, but every time I book a steam train, something goes wrong with it, and we ended up going on a diesel train. So we went up on a diesel train, which was fine, and it was so gorgeous, so beautiful, and yeah, I can't believe how many people take their dogs up there. Like, so cool. And the doggies seemed happy, so that's good. But yes, we went up to Mount Snowdon, which I think it was it a present for him? I don't know, but that was something I booked like right at the beginning of the year when I got my credit card. Um, I can't actually. Oh yes, it's because we were going to do it when we was in Wales before. So we went back to Wales specifically just to do this. That's really cute. Yeah, we was going to do it before when we were there a couple of years ago. Oh. And then we get home, and the day after I got home was the 9th of September, and I did an induction for a new course. So I don't know if you remember my last video. I did a taster for a dog grooming course, and I couldn't get along with the people there. The way they were treating the dogs and the animals was just so not a bit of me. Like, I left a corporate job because I love animals, or like to be near animals because I was spiraling and needed to be living a life where I was happy. So like everyone in my life was like, you need to be around animals. Yeah, so I stopped the dog grooming, but on the 9th I did a cat grooming induction for a different company, and I'm thoroughly excited to finish that and everything. And I was really excited about the induction. So that felt really good because comparing it to the dog grooming taster, like now it just felt so much more right and so much more me. So I was really, really happy with that. So yeah, I'm gonna be a cat groomer, which is so cool. I have two Mancoons as well, where I live with them. They're my mum's, but yeah. So and I think the closest groomer that we were like sort of happy with was in Essex, which is like like an hour or so away from me. And she is not taking any more bookings or any more new clients. So yeah, so we need a cat groomer. So that's gonna be me. And then the day after, I had a hospital appointment because, again, at the beginning of this year, I got my ears. I paid to get my ears cleaned professionally, like privately, and they were fine. But she found something in my ear, so yeah, I had my ENT appointment to check that out. Um, and for anyone who like doesn't know, or if I don't know if I've explained it very well, I basically worked at a hospital, and have been off sick for a long time, because I'm just mentally unwell. And anytime I'd go back to work, I just keep having panic attacks and I'd get sent home. And for some reason they wouldn't let me work from home because I was sick. Whilst not understanding that I can work from home, but as like a punishment for being sick, they took away my work from home allowance. So many people. Well, actually, maybe just one person trying to. We'll get into that. Anyways, I have an ENT appointment. So I got to the hospital. Panic attack, panic attack, panic attack. So luckily, my mom works at the hospital. So I was like, you can meet me. So yeah, she came and sat with me after I was just crying in ENT. And they were like, are you okay? Basically, my ears are fine. I didn't even realize there's something. I mean, he said he couldn't see anything in there, and I'm like, I have a photo of it, but whatever. He says that there's some people have like something to do with the nerve gets like trapped in the jaw, and then when we like tense our jaw, it like creates pain, but where it's like close to the ear, it feels like it's in the ear canal. So he said that's what I got. So he's relaxed. So yeah, that was that. And then 5 days after, on the 15th, this is a dream come true. I didn't actually get tickets for this until maybe like June, July time. Basically, I saw KNOX live. So this is his first time in the UK. So I saw him in Camden. I think it was Electric Ballroom, Camden. Yeah, had a blast. I have been a fan of KNOX literally since was it 20, basically since Sneakers, whenever that came out. I think it's 2021 or 2022. But like there was like less than 100 people using that audio on TikTok, and I was like, I'm obsessed with this kind of music. Like I need more of it. But it was the first song he ever made. So yeah, I basically he's like one of my favorite artists. So I saw him live. I also got to see Will Lingley, who opened up for him, and now I'm a massive fan of him. And then there's another guy who opened for like was before Will. I don't know, but I love his songs as well. So I had a great time. And like in true solo concert fashion, you make friends. And so yeah, that was really cool too. Um, and then 2 days after that, I had another therapy appointment, which was really interesting. We spoke a lot about sorry, I got a text. We spoke a lot about like perceptions of like how I was raised and what people wanted me to do. At this point, I was still employed by the NHS. I was off sick and like trying to figure out like what to do really. Um, and yeah, so we were just talking about like perceptions and like how I was brought up and what my parents wanted of me, um, and what society wants of me. And actually, my therapist was like a city girl, and she stopped all of that and then became a therapist. So it was so interesting to like talk to her about like getting a less societally acceptable job. Obviously, being a therapist is still like pretty cool, but like compared to being like a corporate city girl, like that's I think like when we think about like I don't know, doing well in career wise, that's the top. Um, so yeah, it was really interesting to talk about all that, and it really sort of helped solidify like the fact that societal views are societal views, and actually, when I'm chasing the corporate ladder, I still can't afford to live. I'm like got into crippling debt and stuff, and couldn't afford to move out. So if I do something I just enjoy, it makes me slightly less money. Like I'm not you know, like it just, yeah, it was just a really interesting conversation. And obviously these things are like so obvious, but like when someone completely, like, my only relationship with her is her being my therapist, is to talk about how I'm feeling and like dissect it. And it's all about like me. So do you know what I mean? It's just such like a different kind of dynamic. And like she can say something and I will just take it in so much more, and like we can go through it and discuss it a lot more than I could with like a normal person in my life. So yeah. The day after, yes, I visited a dog called AJ. He is an XL bully, and I basically was meeting him and his family to see if like I was happy with them and they were happy with me, to look after AJ whilst his mum and dad were on holiday, and that went really, really well. I was slightly concerned about like the bully thing, but on like after meeting him, he was literally just like a tiny little puppy in a big body. So yeah, that went well, and I was sort of excited to see if they were happy to actually book me to be their pet sitter, which would be my first sort of like non-private gig, like not from people like I know, because I have like two families I work with for their cats, and they're sort of like friends of my family. That's how like I got introduced to them, or like friend or a colleague or something. So yeah, it's my first sort of like, I don't know, like they just found me and wanted me, so that's cool. Um the day after, I met a cat to for a similar thing, to cat sit them. Obviously I wasn't going to stay at the cat's house, not obviously, some people might want them to, but yeah, for cats it was just like a one-off visit. And I'm actually currently on the week now where I am looking after her. So her name is Little Penny, and yeah, so obviously that one went well. But yeah, it's just exciting to like, again, it's another thing is like being around animals more, and to sort of see, you know, if I can do little odd jobs like this. Like I love animals and I have, you know, such a way with them, and I just want to, like, again, the person who I lost was my Tinky, who's up here. That's her brother Frosty, who we lost a year prior. Um, and really, I want to help every single animal in the world in her honor. Um, because if she can't be here, and if I have to stay here while she's not here, I need to make sure everyone's okay in her honor, sort of thing. Like anyone in her position, like pets and other animals that can't have a voice themselves, I need to be that voice, or like just try and make their life better in any way. So pet sitting for me is great because I get to do that. Um, but yeah, that same day, later on in the day, I got to meet another very special person. So one of my friends had a baby, and I got to meet him. I think he was about a week or so old at that time, and it was amazing just to sort of see that whole dynamic. Her husband was there, and yeah, just to be in that bubble with them and just sort of be able to see them so early on in their parenthood meant a lot, and I was very, very grateful for that. And good to hold the tiny baby. But yeah, very sweet. The day after, I had my laser, so laser hair removal. So this is my top up sessions, and this is so when I got my credit card at the beginning of the year, I booked like a course of top up sessions. So this is my last one of the top up, which is great because I yeah, it's working so well. Like I barely have any hair, and I just sort of wax the little ones or pluck them that do come through, and then they take forever to grow back. So yeah. So yeah, really happy with that. The only thing I is so annoying about laser is that you can't have any sun exposure or fake tan like 6 weeks prior. So being a pale bitch is just like, this is extra dark fake tan on me right now. Like I am pasty. I look unwell. Um, so yeah, I hate being not fake tanned, or not being having the choice to, or not being able to go on a sunbed or anything like that. So not that I want to go on a sunbed anymore, but yeah, at the time I was still wanting to go on a sunbed. Um, so I'm really happy that that last bit's done, and yeah, it feels great since to, you know, just I look at not being hairless isn't like a big thing, but for me it's just maintenance, like having to think about where, and I used to just like, again, I'm so pale, and naturally I have really, really dark hair, so like the moment I shave, you can just still see the follicle under my skin, like. But, you know, yeah, that was a really big confidence boost for me. Again, it's like the nails, it's not necessary, whatever, but it makes me feel good. And, you know, if my time here is limited, which, you know, I'm not too fussed about that, then, you know, I'm going to play, I'm going to have fun, I'm going to be some selfish. And yeah, I'd love to be a great example, but I do want a boob job. I do get Botox, like all of that stuff, you know. But yeah, I'm just transparent, so that's fine. But the day after, I had an interview for Lush. Now, Lush, I feel like is the only place on the planet that I can work. I did apply for some more like places that don't test on animals, but if I work at Lush, I am pretty much being an activist 24/7 because all of their like packaging is about fighting animal testing. Like it just fight animal testing on the packaging of like their bags. Um, so I'll be constantly being an animal activist, which is great. Everything is vegetarian. Only a couple products have honey in or like beeswax, which um, so like most of the things are vegan apart from bees, which it's always been sort of like a grey area. I think now commonly in society we believe that anything with honey in is not vegan and shouldn't have, like, you know, bees get artificially inseminated and stuff like that, like forcibly. So that's not great. Um, but you know, Lush are working on that. They're very, very environmental. They're very publicly open about, you know, the genocides going on in Palestine and supporting or trying, you know, doing what they can to support that. They closed their stores to not give tax to the government for a day, which was like 300,000. So like not a lot on the grand scheme of things, but still a substantial amount of money the company was willing to lose to make a stand against capitalism. Um, yeah, and they work with like local farmers across the world to prevent deforestation, and so the farmers can make a living as well, so they don't have to sell their land. Um, and then it sort of like get cut down stuff for deforestation, and then like different habitats and stuff. Um, so yeah, it's just an all-round good brand, or I believe like the best of what you're gonna get in the society. That was a massive thing for me, which is why I spiraled so much and was so suicidal. Was that I couldn't fit in society. Um, I didn't want to live with benefits, but I could not work for anyone that was not morally right. Like, I couldn't do it. I could not exist like that anymore. So Lush was pretty much the only place I could work. And to get an interview for that, I was so excited for. I thought I botched this interview so bad. It was a group interview. I was shaking. I was so nervous. Although I did go there, and it was like yes, there was like 40 people there, but we went off in like different groups. Two girls asked me what year I'm going into at school, and I was like, babes, I'm 27. And they're like, shut up. You know, whether they're being polite and whether they just maybe thought I looked really fucking old, but just expected everyone else to be school age. But still, I'm happy with that. I think it's mainly also because I'm immature and I dress like a toddler. I mean, I feel like I'm pretty like maturely dressed today, but I mean, with this hat and my little necklace, but yeah, whatever. So yeah, we'll see what happens to that with that interview. On the 23rd of September, I met one of my closest friends called Catherine, or Bren. She's Bren. We're going to shorten it to Bren. She lives in the States, and we found each other actually through my YouTube channel. She watched my reaction to Harry Styles's bedtime story thing, and she DM'd me and was like, she DM'd me on, she found me on Instagram, DM'd me on Instagram, was like, we had the exact same reaction to that. Like, I also see that you're kind of witchy. Like, I feel like we'd be a good vibe. So she's got a great sense of energy, and basically we've been like friends ever since, like really good friends. And she's now moved to the UK. So our first time ever meeting in person was on 23rd of September, and it's like an hour and a half away from me, so it's not like crazy. But like, yeah, she's not like around the corner, but still like she's not in Idaho anymore. So, you know, that was great. And maybe she can come on the channel one day. I would love that. She's so knowledgeable about like natural things and everything, and so like in connection with the earth. She doesn't share my views on like animal cruelty and stuff. Like she'll like a bone broth, and she likes like natural materials like leather. So you know, she's a little bit more like that. But you know, she's got so much knowledge that I would love to share with you guys as well. I only mention that because I will probably edit out anything that, you know, she says that isn't within my views for animals, because I don't want to promote any of that. But you know, maybe she'll start her own little thingy, and if that's a bit of you can go head over to see what she's doing. Um, and the day after that, I did a meet and greet with two other dogs called Pickle and Pepper, and they were two little pugs. First ever pugs I've met in real life before, so that's so cute. So yeah, the pet sitting was picking up, and it was really good. Again, also a really nice thing because I live with my mum and her and my stepdad, and like I have a cat and they have two mancoons. My cat's quite independent, but if she's a rescue, she's still getting used to the house and stuff. I'd say she's pretty settled now, to be fair. But she gets on well with my mum, so I'm confident leaving her. But anyways, I don't get much time to myself. So pet sitting also allows me some me time, some quiet time, because I love quiet time. Me and my mum love quiet time. My stepdad will come in and he'll like cook meat really, fragrantly, and that will send me into a spiral. And he'll also have music all the time, which also sends me into a spiral. So, love him dearly, but having my own space with this pet sitting is also great. And then I got my nails done for like my Halloween set. So this is like my proper Halloween set. So this doesn't count. Because it's just black, but it's going to last me till after Halloween too. But I'll insert a picture in my Halloween colours, and I went in, I was like, I want Halloween nails today. She was like, oh, I got some new Halloween colours. Showed me, and they're all like burgundy and stuff, and I was like, no, I need like a mega mog. I just found out I'm a teenage witch kind of Halloween colours. And I got so many compliments on this set. And she put them on her Instagram too, and apparently she got so many compliments on the set. So together and it was really cool. We did two, these three were different colours, but then these two were both black. And I just thought that was just a cool vibe. Like that was her idea, and I was like, okay, girl, see. So yeah, that was fun. And then on the 26th, so at this point I wasn't. Okay, anyways, on the 26th, actually no, it was the day I met Catherine. It was the 23rd. I was at her house and I got a call, which I was expecting to hear back from the interview, and they offered me a trial shift at Lush, and I was like, so sorry, go back. I got trial shift at Lush, so I passed the interview, which I thought was mad, but I knew once I got past that point, like trial shift, like I'm good. I'm good at like actually talking to people, like customer. Like I think I was just nervous around like my future colleagues. The interviews I normally smash because it's just with like managers and stuff you have to suck up to anyways. But like sucking up to like future colleagues, I don't know. It was just a bit weird for me. But yeah, sucking up to customers, I can do that. Or I was confident in doing that, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. So I had my trial shift on the 26th, and I honestly thought I smashed it. I had like a 15-minute interview afterwards, and like she seemed really scary. She was like a supervisor, and then after that she like hugged me goodbye. Like she gave me a handshake, and then after that she pulled me in for a cuddle, and I was like, guys, I fucking smashed this. Like I think I got it in the bag. And then I started thinking about it, and I was like, wait, what if she hugged me because she thought I was nice, but I was actually really shockingly shit? And she was like, oh babe, bless you. But yeah, we'll see. We've got a couple more until I find out the answer to that. And then the day after, I had my lovely niece and nephew come stay. I am, I think I'm their favourite aunt. But yeah, anyways, they have their own room here, but they both decided they want to sleep with me. So I do not sleep when they come around, basically. I'm like in the middle, like a corpse, literally was like this. Um, but yeah, I adore them so much. We went to the park every day, and we were collecting acorns and conkers and pine cones, and it was just so much fun. I adore them. I think I've said in some previous videos of like month sum ups, they are such a big reason as to why I stayed here. Ooh. So that was so weird because that made me feel like instantly guilty. But it almost felt like I was choosing them over Tinky, my cat. Um, but no, I know Tinky's happy with me being here for now, I think. So that's okay. Okay. And then on the 29th, I was dog sitting Pickle and Pepper. I stayed there for 2 nights. And they were adorable, lovely little puggos. But she had a dog walker come for one of the days. So I only had to walk them one of the days. But I got stopped constantly, it felt like. Like I've done some dog walking before, but with the pugs, I feel like everyone wants to stroke them, take pictures of them. Like, yeah, I got stopped a lot. And even if I wasn't getting stopped, it was like people being like, oh my god, look, I'm like, take a picture. So yeah, people love pugs. And yeah, they were adorable. They slept with me every night. So yeah, that was so sweet. But I was very anxious during this time because I was like, it's my first, I think, pet sitting gig that was like in action. Obviously, I met AJ and I met Penny before, but the booking wasn't like due yet. Let me get tissue. Sorry. yeah, so I was just feeling a bit anxious and like, yeah. I guess being away from home as well was like, I don't know, I just felt a bit anxious. So I went upstairs to bed on one of my last days there and I got a call when I was trying to nap and it was from Lush. And as I was on the phone, because they always do the thing where they're like, "How do you think it went?" And then you're like, "Okay, I don't know if I got the job or not yet, so I'm still gonna suck the fuck up." And whilst I was sucking up, one of the pugs like ran upstairs and was like dancing in the room, and I was like, "Okay." And then they offered me the job of like the hours I wanted as well. So I'm doing 18 hours. So from a full-time girly down to 18 hours, like I have a fucking life. Um, I need to do some more work to like top up some money. But you know, for now, if I get into debt, overdraft, it's worse my mental health basically because you know, do my cat grooming. So yeah, I've been studying for my cat grooming. I now have a job at Lush. I've done a couple of shifts, and I do feel really happy and feel so much more aligned. And I can't believe I got it. Honestly, the interview I did was shocking. The trial shift was great. I did great in the trial shift, I'd say, but the interview was shocking. But honestly, I believe everything happens for a reason. I didn't really have a doubt. I knew that somehow I was going to get the job because I I don't see where else I could work. Like I really don't. Um, like if I was going to work for someone else other than myself, I don't know where I would be able to work morally and without going into a massive spiral. Because even like the most simplest of things, my mum was like, Rustin and Bromley are hiring, like this perfume shop are hiring. Like, okay, well, how am I going to sell someone's skin to someone else? How am I going to do that morally? You know, if I'm feeling a bit sensitive one day and I'm like, I do not want to touch leather or suede or sell it or whatever. So no. And then, you know, perfume has like musk, which is from anal glands. So no, no. Um, yeah, and like capitalism and everything, I couldn't. So yeah, I'm so utterly grateful that I have Lush. I didn't have a doubt that, you know, it was kind of like it would be a massive practical joke from the universe if I didn't get that job because I don't know how I would survive. I honestly don't. So everything happens for a reason for sure. But I do think I'm good at it, to be fair. I was just very nervous at the interview. And yeah, it was on the 30th that I found out I got the job, and that obviously was the last day of September. So I mean, I have told you I've obviously done some trial shifts and I'm really enjoying it. But yeah, that is my September sum up. This has been almost half an hour, or no, just over half an hour. So some draws to a nice close. I'm not going to harper on or harp on. I'm not going to talk for much longer. I'm just going to do my lovely outro. Thank you so much for listening. If no one's told you lately, I'm so proud of you. I love you so much. But I will see you when I next see you. And you know, September was a hard one. It was anxious things, it was scary things, like new interviews and everything. But October is definitely, you know, I think you can maybe even tell by my energy. Like I just feel it's my time. It's also my like time of year as well. Like I hate summer and sunny months. Like this is me time. But yeah, I'll leave you with that, my darling. See you later.